Hey guys, today we've got a new knife to review from Kizer from their Vanguard series. And please stick around to the end because I found out something about this knife that I think is pretty unique as it relates to another Kizer knife. But this is the Kizer Phoca, P-H-O-C-A. And when I Googled Phoca to determine what it was, I learned that it's part of the seal family. It's a seal, or I think that's what seals are referred to, because when they talk about ergonomics in some of the designer materials from the internal design team on this knife, they talk about contours that follow the same lines as the Phoca. And so, best I can tell, Phoca is a seal, which is kind of maybe echoed in these soft lines of this micarta handle. But basically what we have here is we have a little clip point blade, EDC style knife that has really nice ergonomics. This particular one is in micarta. It is in the new Norplex Ultra X Micarta that Kizer's using on some of their knives. It's very nice micarta. Norplex, I think, is the maker. So you've got this very ergonomical handle. If you notice right here, you've got jimping. So this choil is designed to be used. This is the grip of the knife. You've got a little bit of jimping here, but mainly you've got this flat, this really nice clip point blade. This particular model is an AEB-L. It uses Kizer's clutch lock, which is a bar lock system that Kizer's improved upon by using an adjustable S-spring. Within the liner here, you've got 5 little holes that the Omega spring or the S spring terminates into, as opposed to just one fixed hole. So it allows you to move and adjust the tension of that S spring to give it really snappy detent. For a clutch lock, which by mechanical means doesn't have a ball detent that it goes across to hold it back and to give it that snap. It's just simply working off the spring tension of those Omega springs. And these are done very well. So whether you use the thumb studs, the reverse flick, or you just use the actual pull back on the clutch lock and give it a flip, it's a very easy system to deploy, and it's very secure when it locks up because the bar actually slides over this tang and terminates, locking that blade fully down, no side to side, no up and down. A really sexy knife with a couple of standoffs here in the back. You do have a deep carry clip that is not, I repeat, it is not reversible. It is an ambidextrous lock, but a right hand carry clip. Don't ask me why, but that's the way this one is. I have a more budget friendly option here as well. And it probably won't be more than 10 or 12 bucks difference, guys, maybe 15. But this is a Phoca in G10 and a DLC coated D2 blade. Again, the same ergonomics, the same exact pocket clip that's not reversible, but that's still very deep carry, very awesome, very sharp, slicey clip point blade, the same jimping, the same 5-position adjustable clutch lock spring. Just a fantastic knife. So the Phoca is what I would consider a medium-sized or an EDC-sized carry knife. Works very, very well. It's a flat ground knife that has very good blade geometry. This is the factory edge. I have not put a Javon edge on it yet, but from the factory came, whoops, that was me hitting the choil. Came very sharp. Cutter air. I think the AEB-L is a little slicier than the D2, a little slicier, but they're both very, very slicey. I've been cutting a lot of different materials with these. Cardboard, it works very well on. That kind of replicates a lot of what I cut. I'm cutting, I say it on every video, but if this is the first video, you might not have heard it. I cut Amazon boxes open. I break down cardboard. I open human food, I open cat food, a lot of different types of cat food. So I'm cutting into a lot of things. So the point is important to me for, you know, ripping into some of those bags and whatnot. And this clip point of the Phoca is very pointy. It's a splinter digger, but it's what I would call a subtle splinter digger, right? It's not as pokey stabby as some knives that we've looked at here, but it is plenty pokey stabby to pierce into cardboard or pierce into other materials, and you know, just really do a good job cutting for EDC cutting. It would definitely cut wood. You could feather stick with this knife with the crossbar lock. I think it's going to be a little bit more hard use. You've got steel that's really nicely balanced between edge retention. This one has good balance between edge retention, corrosion resistance, toughness. The D2 with the coated blade is going to give you some of that same corrosion resistance and again toughness. Just a good all-around EDC knife. I'm going to take this guy, just so we don't get confused, put it out of the picture, and we're going to do some quick size comparisons. Then we're going to try it out in our pocket. But again, the big gee whiz wow comes here in just a few minutes. So bear with me, guys. All right, so this little guy is going to be a little bit smaller than the Benchmade bug out. So if that's the case, let's get a Benchmade mini bug out and let's see how it splits the difference. I'm calling it pretty close to the same size as the bug out, because when you look at it up against the mini bug out, it's quite a bit longer than the mini bug out. It's going to be a good bit smaller, or yeah, a good bit smaller than our PM2. But for size comparisons, here is a Sharpie, just to get a good range of size comparisons there. Let me grab a tape measure, and we will quickly jump into measuring this bad boy. Then I'll weigh it, then I'll show you the holy shit that I came out with at the end of this. All right, right about 7 inches, just a hair over 7 inches. We'll call it 7 1/32. Okay, so it's close to 7-inch long knife. The blade is coming in at 3 inches. The handle is coming in at 4 1/8. To this choil, where you've got this jimping on the front of the handle, from this little ergonomic area right here to that choil is an even 4 inches. So from right here to right here, I have a 4-inch span. Plenty of room for my hand, which is 3.5 inches. I also have a lanyard, top little lanyard tube or lanyard hole here if I want to put a lanyard on this knife to give me a little bit more to grab onto. The cutting area on this guy is right at 3 inches too. That belly that you've got right here and that turned up clip point gives you just a lot of cutting area while still giving you a really nice ergonomical platform for your hand. Again, designed after the lines of the Phoca, which all I can figure is a seal, and I guess it looks kind of like a seal. Guys, the clips are great on Kizers. The spoon works great. There's very little or no hot spot on this knife. So if I death grip it, I do not feel that clip at all. Not a bit. And it goes in and out of pocket effortlessly. So literally I can pop it down in my pocket, pop it right over the hem of my pants. It's not coming out. It retains really well, and it's full deep carry. This one's got more of a stone washed, kind of that same titanium nitrite coated clip. D2 one fits the same. Again, the knives are identical except for the materials, because Kizer's offering them up in a couple of different configurations. Got a 3-inch blade. Let's check real quickly how much this bad boy weighs. And then we're going to get to the gee whiz. We're almost there. 2.9 ounces. So it comes in the micarta, the Norplex micarta. 3.1 ounces in the G10. So I say it's right there, perfectly balanced between that inch per ounce ratio. So what did you decide, John? What did you find out? What coincidence or what design language carryover have you found? And I want to say, guys, I read this somewhere first, but I cannot find it in the literature. I was going back and looking, and the Seagull, one of the knives that Kizer came out with a couple of months ago that I said could very well be my budget knife of the year. This particular one is in Rich Light and AEB-L. It's got a flipper hole, it's got a front flipper, and it's got a rear deployment hole. Well, when you look at these two handles, slightly different because you got to cut out here for the flipper tab, and you had to cut out here for the front flipper for the deployment method, right? But if you look at the jimping where your choil is set up, and you look at the silhouette of both of these handles, there's a G10 Seagull next to a G10 Phoca, P-H-O-C-A, and guys, they match. So Kizer's done something really cool here. This is an internal design team, couple of knives, both the Seagull and the Phoca that we're focusing on today. So you've got two very different but useful blade styles, right? Again, this still is in the running for my budget knife of the year. I love this little knife very much. This is the Seagull, but what I love about it is the ergonomics of the handle and the sliciness of the tall blade. Well, the Phoca felt familiar to me. I didn't know why. It looked so much different, I didn't know why. I think I saw it or I dreamed it and then went and looked at the Seagull next to it, and except for that cutout for the flipper on the front and the back, these handles are identical in terms of size, in terms of feel, in terms of that wonderful, streamlined, ergonomical handle that is carried over from the Seagull to the Phoca, and I think that's a very wise thing to do. If you come up with a great, unique handle that swells up into your hand, that fits so well, and you can adapt not only multiple blade styles, but multiple lock types, basically two totally different knives. The back spacer is done slightly different, but does not change the dimensions. So if you look at this angle of this back spacer as opposed to the standoffs here, you will see that the angle is identical. I mean, you can thread that needle straight down through there. Very cool, very stoked that Kizer A is bringing out banger knives, both in the Blade series, their luxury knives, and these Vanguard series, which is what I started collecting, which started my collecting so many years ago, 4 or 5, 6 years ago probably by now. Nice materials, continues to up their game with designs, with introductions of things like the Norplex Ultra X Micarta, which comes in a lot of different variations. I've got a fixed blade that has some that looks like caramel micarta, so it's not all this linen-y looking, but very well done. Excellent execution, nice balance of materials and budget. And this is going to be a guy that's going to come in well under 100 bones, probably well under 80 bones. I'll put some links in the description to Kizer's website where you can look at the prices of this guy. And if they're Amazon links, I'll throw those in there for you as well. But I wanted to share it with you, the Kizer Phoca. Great knife. I give it a seal of approval. Even though I'm not a huge fan of clutch locks, I can appreciate or not a huge fan of bar locks, I can appreciate the engineering of the clutch lock and that extra snap that you get from that adjustable spring. It makes all the difference in the world. Great knife, great carry, great blade shape for getting EDC stuff done, or even more hunting, skinning task done. Really nice knife. Kizer did a great job. I appreciate them for sending knives to me to review, to share with you guys. It stokes me out. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you to all the channel members. I appreciate each and every one of you. And just anybody who finds their way in. Thank you. If you're so inclined, hit the subscribe button. Please, if you're so inscribed or so inclined, hit the bell notification icon. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. And leave a comment. or hit the hype button in that comment section. Any of those things help the channel, and I appreciate it. But guys, most importantly, look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for one another. Go forward with love in your heart and choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.